I switch on computer and my smartphone, and we are online. Hello, my dear friends. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name Dr. Victor Fursov. I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper, and teacher, and this is my channel. I'm very pleased to invite you to my channel to subscribe, to donate, to watch my videos, which are uploaded for many years on my channel on computer. You can watch it via computer or via your smartphone. Just type my name, Victor Fursov, and you will find the bunch of different videos about Ukraine, about other countries, and about insects, and about the nature, and about Ukraine, and about other countries, and about invertebrates, about many different things, but especially about insects because I'm entomologist. And today's video is devoted to insects and invertebrates in Australia. By the way, I'm located in Ukraine. I'm working in the Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. Probably if you are just watching me from English-speaking country. You know this BBC leader, and this is, who is this? This is David Attenborough. David Attenborough, famous zoologist, wildlife conservationist, who is just working for many years, for more than 50 years on BBC channel. Now he's retired, definitely. He's over 90 now, years old, pretty old. But he visited Ukraine, by the way, and I'm located in Ukraine. I'm very pleased to say that I'm dreaming that he will be coming to Ukraine one year, like Gerald Darrell, for instance. But Darrell visited Ukraine in the Soviet time many years ago. But David Attenborough from Britain visited Ukraine just before wild-scale war, which started in Ukraine 2 years ago. So he visited us about 3 years ago. He visited Chernobyl power station, where he did presentation about Chernobyl power station and conservation of animals in this area. I was very much surprised. I started to tell about him because many of his videos devoted to animals, plants, everything on this planet Earth, because even some of his videos are named like life on plants, life of animals, life on Earth, blue ocean, and many. It's not time to talk about it. His son, by the way, was living in Australia, and he's archaeologist, I am sure. He is scientist, and he lives in Australia. But this video devoted to Australia too. By the way, I can show other journals like this one. This journal about my country. This journal about Ukraine. This journal is named not Wildlife. This journal about Ukraine is named Kraina, which means the state. And you can see our leaders of Ukraine, who is very powerful in Ukraine. More probably you know about them. So that's why I say stand with Ukraine, because this year in Ukraine is very hard, as it is written in Ukrainian on the cover of this journal. But that this year will be the most important for Ukraine, to keep our independence, to fight for independence, to fight for our state and for people in Ukraine. So I can say stand with Ukraine. David Attenborough, he visited many places all around the world, and it's very pleased that he showed different videos directly from the nature, being somewhere in the nature, showing something like with gorillas, with tigers, with wasps, with birds in Antarctics, in Arctics, many places all around the world, in Papua New Guinea with birds of paradise, like is here on this cover. This cover is devoted to 4 of his videos about life under grove. I also a little bit participated in under grove because my animals from Ukraine participated in this video. Life undergrowth. You see here it's written life undergrowth. This journal is about life undergrowth, wildlife of insects and other invertebrates undergrowth. I sent some small tiny insects which are shown on this background video or background poster. Tiny calcid wasps with genus Poristwichia. I sent him some tiny tubes like this one. And he showed this Poristwichia, tiny parasitoid like this one, like on this poster. And he had a story about Poristwichia aquatica, which was described by Sir John Lubbock in London more than 200 years ago. And today we will be talking about Australia. David Attenborough also managed some videos about Australia, but we will not be showing his video, but I will show you some screens, some videos, not some videos, some screens and some insects from Australia, and I will comment them. If you have some questions to me or you want to support me via PayPal, Patreon, this is my email address, so you can contact me privately, personally on this email, or you can send donations on PayPal or Patreon. You can use this email for communication with me about insects. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's start to show you. Yes, this is a screen about insects in Australia. And let's talk about these insects. On telephone, I cannot show this video because I show them on my computer as a window. Yes, many strange insects and invertebrates are living in Australia because this is a huge continent which is full of huge spiders, very interesting invertebrates, many interesting grasshoppers, crickets, beetles, wasps, butterflies, moths, roaches, and others, and we will be talking about it. But don't forget that I'm from Ukraine, so stand with Ukraine, support Ukraine, and help to Ukraine. And I will use this website of a Japanese insect YouTuber, Daiki Mushioka, to show you some insects from Australia because he is traveling all around the world in different countries, and he did interesting videos, but in Japanese language. So I translated some pieces of his videos, some names, and I will show you these insects, which are usually very common in Japan, like these plastic insects, because these are models. In the center, on the real one, a real star beetle, but others, they are models. But to find real insects, you need to go to find a wildlife somewhere in tropical places, especially in tropical, semi-tropical, and desert areas, which are full of insects, especially tropics. So that's why we're going very fast to Australia with eucalyptuses. You can see eucalyptus trees all on the roads. And first of all, how to find insects. Very easy to manage light trap. And using this light trap, insects are attracted to the light trap because this is their habit. Of course, in Australia, there is a strict legislation. You cannot collect insects without special permission, but I hope so that they got some permission and they didn't collect it for collection. They did this collection for study and for photography and for using different wonderful Japanese cameras like Sony, Panasonic, Canon, and others to take photos, to take videos, and to show them on the videos and maybe in some publications. So that's why if you use light traps, insects are coming and you can watch them alive. Who is coming? big beetles, big cicadas, big butterflies coming, night moths, and this is a wonderful female of rhino beetle, rhinoceros beetle. Number of beetles and number of insects wildlife is much high biodiversity in Australia rather than, for instance, in the area of Ukraine, because this is a huge continent with different areas, semi-tropical, tropical, desert areas, and number of species of beetles and other groups of insects are much higher. So this is arena beetle. Oh, looks like here. Wonderful, very interesting. Golden beetles of a family Scarabaeidae or Scarabaeoidea, scarabeetles, stag beetles, arena beetles. They're in the same superfamily. And these are golden beetles. Golden beetles. They're so shiny, greenish, yellowish. It really looks like they're done from a gold, but they're alive, they're flying, they're crawling, they're very fast. But it's very pleasant to keep them on hand because they're really very funny and very pleasant to watch them and to take photos. And this looks like our another scarabaeid beetles, very similar in temperate regions, like in Ukraine, in Europe, same in Japan as well, in temperate regions, not only in tropics. But this one is very wonderful arena beetle, but different one with two horns, one on the thorax, one just on the head, and really very nice looking. Yeah, we're under another view, arena beetle, which was coming to light ray because many beetles, many insects are attracted to the light. And who is that? Who is that? So huge insect. This is aquatic bug. Aquatic bug. If you are watching it on screen on computer, the size of on my screen of computer about 10 centimeters or 9 centimeters. So the size of this huge bag, aquatic bag, Blastostomidae family, about 10 centimeters size, really even bigger than this first arena beetle. So that's why you can say giant bug, giant aquatic bug, and very small, tiny arena beetles just down there. And who is this? These are wonderful order Orthoptera. In general, we can say this is belonging to grasshoppers, locusts, crickets, and so this wonderful locust of the family Acrididae, Acrida, with very elongated horn on the head. So it's not a horn, this is just elongated shape of a head. And who is this one? This is interesting. It was insect collected in the night time using light, just making excursion around the jungles with light. And this insect is a white-kneed cricket. And this cricket is a little bit aggressive. Yes, for sure, because it's predator, and predaceous insects they are having usually very huge mandibles. So that's why cricket is biting the cameraman. Oh, but this one is beautiful grasshopper. And you can recognize it just under this huge magnification, but on the leaf of a tree somewhere in the jungles, it's really becoming invisible and unrecognizable because it looks like a piece of tree, like a piece of leaf, with all these brown spots, with all elongated legs, with horns. It looks like a branches of trees. That's why mimicry helps them to survive, to not only to eat some grass, but also to be predator, because this is a Catitidae family, and many of catitids are predaceous locusts. So they're hunting on another insects and on small other locusts as well. Oh, you see this one? This one probably phytophagous, what probably can eat plants or it can be predaceous as well. And size is very pretty big And shape is very nice, especially shape of Turks, elongated and very bright white, bright green color. So in a bright green colored trees like eucalyptus and others in jungles of Australia, these insects also becoming invisible because of this adaptation to be invisible. Oh, you see, very nice, another Acrididae family. Acrididae with elongated nose, elongated head. So it looks very nice. Looks like a piece of leaf, greenish and yellowish, with long ovipositor on the downside. And this is the previous cricket. You see, knees are white, so that's why name is sounds like a white-kneed cricket. I'm not talking about Latin names. Latin names will appear a little bit later, or were written under this photo. So these are videos of Daiki Mushioka, who is just did these interesting videos, but I'm very pleased to use his just small pieces of photos to not to animate them, but to make them audio pictures, because all this video in Japanese, so I explain them in English. Maybe next time I can explain in Ukrainian language as well, for people who has some difficulties with English. And who is this? You see here, this is like a branch of tree. This looks like a stick. Yes, yes, but this is a stick insects of Phasmoptera. This is alive, living insects. Phasmoptera looks like a very elongated branch of a tree, but this is alive and not crawling, because it's crawling very slowly. I will show it later. And this is a leafhopper. In semi-tropical and tropical areas, there are a lot of different leafhoppers, plant hoppers, who are just making very nice sounds. Or you can say them, they are different species, different families even, different families of cicadas, leafhoppers and plant hoppers and tree hoppers. And the size of them, not like this, not like a bird, but pretty big one with open wings, like this one, about 10 centimeters. So, and they're quite noisy, like in Japan, Abura zemi and other zemi cicadas are very noisy, and in Australia, this species is noisy as well. Yes, if you're making a light trap with bright light, many night moths are coming, so this night moth of family Saturniidae was coming to the light as well. And who is this? This is roach, cockroach. And this cockroach is inhabiting not just underground, but inside of the sand. So that's why the author of this video, Daiki Mushioka, just made some efforts to find this roach under the ground in soil. So he was digging the soil out, and he was catching this interesting and pretty big one, cockroach in hands. So this cockroach already clean, without sand, sitting on hands. You see, so horny legs, very flattened shape of body. And this cockroach is inhabiting in small, special holes which we are digging underground. And probably quite deep one, more than 15 centimeters deep. Depth of this nest was pretty high, so more than 15 centimeters. And color is so bright and interesting. So this one, you see, during the period of collecting, finding this cockroach, I hope that this cockroach was released later. And who is this? This is praying mantis. You know, there are a lot of different groups of mantis. Hello to my friends who is on smartphone. I'm fine. So just I'm explaining my video on computer because I'm showing video on computer on my screen, and on telephone I cannot show the same photos and same video which I show on computer. Telephone, this is just direct translation of my speech and communication through the subtitles. So hello, John, Julia, John Jane, hello John Jane. Thank you for support, and for, if you say, respect for devoted entomologist. I am pleased to see this comment. So what's about this interesting praying mantis? This mantis has an interesting color, such kind of a ray. So he's sitting on the soil somewhere between leaves, and you see the color is pretty invisible. He looks like a stick insect, looks like a piece of stamp. So this is a very nice example of mimicry, adaptation in color, in shape, in movements, in slow movements. And this is predaceous insects because this is a praying mantis. Okay, another species of so colorful catitid, or locust or grasshopper. Interesting one with very horny first pair of legs, because he is using first pair of legs like mantis to catch the prey, and to use very big mandibles on a head to kill the prey. So because this is catitid family is predaceous grasshoppers. Some people say they are not grasshoppers, they are catitids. Yes, they are. And this is a green catitid. It looks like a larva of catitid. So the same green color, greenish, difficult to observe on just leaf of palm, greenish, and we've not developed wings, pair of wings, because you see in larva has very reduced wings. We are growing just only on latest stage of after nymph, and nymph is coming to adult with a fully grown wings. Larva has just very reduced wings, or no wings at all. So this is a nice catitid. And this is another species of catitid with very strong ovipositor, destructive catitid, probably quite aggressive, very fast, very quickly, jumping very quickly, running and hunting for another insects and invertebrates. Austrus solomona, probably distributed on Solomon Islands, or was described from Solomon Islands. Solomona destructor in Latin. Oh, you see this species of catitid, quite a big one. You can imagine to keep it in your fingers. So quite a big one. I can show you later. The author showed it on his body. Put this catitid on his hair, but on next photos. You see here on the left part of the screen, huge ovipositor. This ovipositor can be used to lay eggs either inside soil, very surprising, or between epidermis inside leaves, inside plants, or just can be used to lay eggs on the surface of plants. So it depends from the biology of different species of catitids, of different species of locusts. Usually locusts lay eggs inside the soil, making like a kind of a soap of with different glands, and this bunch of different eggs are laid inside the soil. But some predaceous species are laying eggs inside epidermis of plants, and eggs of big species like this also will be pretty big, about 5 millimeters or even probably more. I've seen some eggs of catitids in Mexico on plants, on leaves of oranges or citruses, and it was openly laid eggs on the plant of citrus. So for this species, I don't know. So this species is inhabiting palms, maybe laying eggs on the stems of palms. You see here on computer this katydid is sitting not on palm, but sitting on the head of Japanese entomologist. The name of this katydid, Queensland palm katydid, and size more than 10 centimeters, with huge ovipositor, and color is a gray or brownish. You see, on a palm, nearly the size of a palm of human, so about 15 centimeters. Very long antennae, very big, well-developed wings, nice hind legs, jumping legs, and huge ovipositor. And you see, this is a face of katydid, face katydid with big mandibles, not very big eyes, not the same size of eyes like in dragonflies, but eyes working very well. They're very sensitive, and they have very long antennae, which are also very sensitive. So that's why we can escape very quickly if we find something dangerous for them, something threatening for them. They are jumping, they are crawling, they are running very fast, and can quickly escape from a predator. So this species is a big one, and gray color, looks like a dyed dry leaf on the surface of land. This is again very funny insect with short wings. Sometimes the wings can be more or less developed, but still this insect not flying too much, just can jump in a little and open wings just for very short flight. This species very heavy, cannot fly like a colibri, cannot fly like a beetle, but has very funny, interesting wings. You see on the upper part of body, and this is a stick insect of Phasmoptera, Phasmodea. Okay, this is longicorn beetle with very long antennae, and it's quite interesting that in Indonesia there are some very huge size giant longicorn beetles of the family Cerambicidae, which size also quite a big one, about 10 centimeters. And I'm quite sure that in Queensland, place in jungles of Queensland, which are close to Indonesia, there are some species of quite a big size as well. This one probably not too much. This is very nice, very fragile, very elegant species of a katydid. Greenish and looks like a small leaf. Of course, in tropics and semi-tropics, there are a lot of different ants, hunting ants, many species of ants. I'm not talking about the biodiversity of them. I'm not quite sure how many of them. Probably more than 1,000 species can inhabit Australia of ants, and this one is making special nest inside the plant leaf. So they're just making curvation of a plant of leaf, and they're making kind of a leaf nest. So they're living inside this leaf for protection, because in semi-tropical places there are some rains in night time and evening time, so they're making just protection against the wet weather and living inside this special hole. Very nice, interesting, predaceous ants. Okay, this Phasmoptera, Phasmodea, with well-developed wings. Again, you can see first pair of wings shorter than second pair of wings. And this is an interesting adaptation because these wings are well developed, but I'm not sure that they are used for flight. They are used more for hiding, because they looks like leaves of eucalyptus. Flattened hind pair of legs, big and very big, elongated body, and wings looks like leaves, even with different colors like on plant. So that's why this is a wonderful example, mimicry adaptation to be invisible in jungles for birds, for predators, for some small animals, which are insectivores, mammals, and other animals which are inhabiting jungles. So, and very, very small head, you see, head on the left side. And in the middle of screen, these are not leaves, these are wings, first pair of wings, which is interesting. And on the right side, this is flattened hind legs with small horns, with small sharp edges. And this is another species, number of Phasmodea or stick insects, huge, enormous in tropics, and in Australia, many species of them. Biggest stick insect was collected somewhere in Indonesia. I'm quite sure size about 30 centimeters. So this one, you can say 30 centimeters and even more, together with legs, so size like this, like an animal. I'm sharing the screen on computer. I cannot share screen on telephone because I'm translating from computer and from telephone. So that's why I'm sharing screen on computer file. You can upload my channel again, and you can click again on my channel, and you can find second version of my presentation through computer. I check it. Yes, it's working. So please, if you found my channel and my video on your telephone, on your smartphone, and you can see my videos, upload, click on my name or on the name of my channel, and you will go to my channel directly on YouTube. And on the first page of YouTube, you will see my full presentation with screen of videos, because it's going on two different channels. One is mobile, through mobile phone. This is one file translation, and second file of translation with all video. This is through computer. So try to do it. This will be, of course, more interesting rather than just audio speech, or you will find video speech. Welcome. So thank you for curiosity. Try to watch me again, visiting my channel just now, because this is online translation. You can write your questions. I can see your questions, but I cannot show on telephone my video directly. I show my video on screen of computer. So let's go forward. This is Phasmodea, and you see here, if you're making close up of this Phasmodea or this stick insect, you can recognize this. This is a big one, very nice, with very funny head, with very funny eyes, and of course, stick insect is not so quickly a running insect. You can keep it carefully in hands, and it's not predaceous, so not so dangerous to keep. It's funny to keep it in hands. And this stick insect of a Latin name, Anchiale briareus, quite a big one, about 20 centimeters. All right, I found this photo and this small story about this insect, and it's quite interesting. Welcome, Dupont's eye. Welcome. Now I'm showing on computer interesting caterpillar. And who is this caterpillar? I'm not quite sure about family. Looks like a Sphingidae family, but the shape of this caterpillar is very strange. Under the different angles, it looks like dead caterpillar with very elongated ball on the head of a caterpillar. Even I was watching for a few seconds, even a couple of minutes, this caterpillar, and I was thinking that caterpillar is dying because head is just inside the ball, and I was thinking this is a dead caterpillar. No, but finally, here you see, head is okay, but here head is hidden. And this caterpillar is using this adaptation of this shape to become like dropping of birds. This looks like, first of all, it looks like a dead caterpillar, and probably for birds, dead caterpillar is not convenient for, not suitable for food, not so tasty. So that's why they will not attack it. And secondly, it looks like a dropping of birds. So for other predators, for other animals, it's also not convenient as a food. And maybe this kind of a shape of skin on the head, making some pheromones, smell, or just specific chemical smell, more or not probably, because you see, skin here will be very thin. So probably this caterpillar not only looking very strange, like a dead caterpillar, but also smells like a awfully. I'm not quite sure, but you can recognize that caterpillar is alive. You can see very tiny lines of on the surface of this skin. The caterpillar made very interesting mimicry, like dropping of birds, for its survival. So very interesting and funny adaptation. Quite unusual. I never seen it like this in our temperate region. So let's see another insect. And this is wonderful. Locust, quite a big one, very colorful. Very interesting with short antennae. And of course, dragonflies in Australia can be very interesting because there are not only dry area in Australia, huge areas in Queensland are very well wet, and many places have not only rivers but lakes, ponds, wet areas, and enormous number of dragonflies inhabiting Australia. This is a huge, wonderful place for the study of dragonflies. Probably many species of dragonflies still undescribed in Australia. And so this one, so this is here a very pale blue color of dragonfly, but this is not precisely dragonfly, this is a dumpsterfly, to be correct. Dumpsterfly, dragonfly I'll show you later. Again, white-kneed cricket, which is very funny and interesting, we already know. I have shown it already, but looks very nice. Quite a big one. And next one, next katydid, with different color. You see, yellowish, brownish, very long antennae, very long and strong ovipositor. So beautiful shape of first pair of legs with very sharp horns on first pair of legs, and second pair of legs also with horns, just to catch the prey, because katydids are predaceous insects. So it depends. My subscriber who is interested in insects maybe just change the place and was coming to the computer. And this one, you see, this is not insect. This is Zoptera. Wood lice. Some wood lices in our temperate region in Ukraine. Quite a small one. Very funny, very interesting, very good for keeping in laboratory culture. But some tropical species, quite a big one, and some semi-tropical species as well. And some Australian species, very huge. You can imagine the size, about 3-4 centimeters. 3-4 centimeters. And this is, and they do like to make bubbles. This different species of woodlices for protection to escape from predators. So this is a crustacean, not insect, crustacean woodlices. And who is this here? Pretty invisible. Yes, you already know who is this. This is looks like aloe plant, and inside the plant leaf, just sitting very quietly like a spider, like it looks like a spider, but a green color with very short wings. Stick insect. Also a good adaptation of mimicry to be invisible. All right. You can see here different species of stick insects, I guess so, different species, because we have a different coloration, different shape, and they're very attractive, very attractive. They look not only like plant leaves, but more like fruits, because they're very big, looks like a green fruits on trees. And you see on your hand, the stick insect looks pretty big. And who is here? Here's some small creatures sitting on leaves of citruses. Yes, these are insects widely distributed in Japan as well, but these are first stages of Papilionidae, swallowtail butterflies, swallowtails of a family Papilionidae. They look like small droppings of insects, droppings of birds. So they're well protected against predators, and they are growing fast and becoming like that. You see, so wonderful. This species of Papilionidae, swallowtail butterfly, just extracting the horn on the thorax near the head, which smells not very nice. And similar species of Papilionidae, quite many species of Papilionidae inhabiting Japan as well. So some species, very colorful, very attractive, are living in Australia. If you are touching this caterpillar is not escaping, but opening this very funny red horns near the head, just for protection and making a little bit special smell. Maybe this is helpful, or looks like a tongue of a snake. But of course, this is imagination, not a snake. It looks like a snake, but maybe it's a smell good enough for protection against the birds. So that's why interesting adaptation for protection for swallowtail butterflies. This is a swallowtail butterfly. Quite similar species are living in Japan as well. Again, we can see rhinoceros beetle, which is living in Australia, which was found on using light trap. I hope so it was not collected, but it was released. I say collected because it was caught. So hopefully it was not collected for collection. It was collected for video stream, for photos, for exposition for our videos, and for video of this Japanese author. Okay, and you see here, this is a light trap with a mesh with tissue mesh, and many insects, very small ones, small bugs, small night moths were coming. And so this is a female of rhino beetle came to the light trap. Again, big stick insect. I did this screen to show it closely. You see stick insects. Even it's a big one, which is named Titan stick insect, the biggest stick insect of gray color, very interesting mimicry. The color is very gray and whitish, looks like a dead branch of tree. This is also looks like a small piece of wood. Bark mimicking grasshopper, and it's really true. Coryphistes ruricora with short antennae, and if you watch it carefully, probably when it's sitting on the bark, it will be also invisible. So for such nice mimicking insects, mimicry, this is a way to escape from predators. And you can see the hind legs, not here, no, another one. And we'll see about this another catitid from the upper side. Even it's difficult to say what is it, leaf or not leaf. This is not a leaf, this is insect with long antennae, very wide wings, but looks like green leaf. And I show it closely. Yes, this is very funny catitid with very bright wings. Again, quite a big species of a longhorn beetle of the family. Of a genus Rosenbergia, megalocephala, quite a big one. Family Cerambicidae with long antennae. You see, antennae is very long. And this is click beetle. Click beetle. Size is quite a big one. Also collected in jungles, was clicking, jumping, and click beetles of family Elateridae, click beetles. And who is this here? Here was coming strange insect with a very narrow body, with very elongated first pair of legs. I'm not quite sure who is this, but I guess so. This is probably a stick insect. Yes, stick insect. I was thinking this is a bug. No, this is not a bug. This is one of species of Phasmoptera, one of species of a giant stick insects, but they have interesting adaptation with very elongated and enlarged first pair of legs on the left part of screen. You see where it looks like special sticks. Not only the body elongated, but also first pair of legs very elongated and with very strange shape. And in the between legs here, just rounded head. So this is stick insect. This is another species with a head on the left side, quite invisible, just in front of the dry leaves. Also gray color. And what's that? Looks like a fruit. No, this is not a fruit. This is a bunch of eggs of mantis, praying mantis. Yes, praying mantis. Mantis are crawling on different trees, on different bush branches, and laying eggs in the shape, the special shape, and probably already very tiny praying mantises. Larvae will be coming very soon. Or from another side, it looks like a bunch of eggs of a roach. I'm not quite sure, but the roach should be inhabiting either under leaves or between bark. Why roach can make this group of egg on the branch? This is quite difficult to imagine. Probably this is a bunch of eggs of praying mantis. Yes, and this is interesting hind leg, very colorful hind leg of a locust, which I showed, stick of his bark mimicking locust. Bark mimicking locust, quite invisible. Probably wings also can be very colorful, or maybe not. but legs very colorful for distinguishing species. Maybe for female, it's quite visible, and for another males also quite visible. So this is for competition between different males and for attraction of females. We can imagine it. It needs to make very careful investigation of biology. Again, stick insect in hands. Very nice. Leaf hopper. Again, very nice. Dragonfly. Not very huge one, but very colorful with spots. And I wanted to show you some dragonflies which are not from Australia, but very colorful and quite a big one. I'm quite sure that some species like this should be living in many places in Australia, but this is not Australian species. This is just as example. Huge dragonfly, very carefully collected, and author keeping it between fingers, and then later it will be released. And you see very long abdomen and very funny appendages on the top of abdomen. Looks like a very interesting. Looks like a airplane. And here it was released. So this dragonfly is free. It was not collected for box for investigation as a dry insect. It was released. And finally, I wanted to show you this insect, which is not actually Australian, but from near Australia, from New Zealand. Because when you are saying about huge insects in Australia, usually many people do remember about this huge insect which is inhabiting some tropics, and this is giant vetta. Giant vetta, huge locust of this shape with long ovipositor without wings and very strong enlarged abdomen. And this is predaceous species with long ovipositor. And they're living in New Zealand and in some islands of New Zealand. But this is a very huge, very heavy, and the most heaviest and the strongest, we can say, insect in places near Australia. That's why I'm very pleased to show it. Definitely, I have not seen it myself because it needs very special expedition. And of course, it's prohibited to collect it because this species is under protection for conservation. But this species is under the study in New Zealand, in Australia, and it's quite interesting to save the species despite all changes of climate and all pollution which is happening all around the world. So thank you for watching. So that's why I'm actually from Ukraine, and I need to show you this final picture. I cannot see visitors which are writing something on telephone. I see just two people are watching me on telephone. On computer, it's not recognizable who can make some comments, but it's not a problem because it will be recorded. And if you are interested in insects, you can visit my channel again. Just click on the name of my channel on YouTube and you can visit my channel with different videos on different topics. So you can see here the slide which is named Stand with Ukraine, Support Ukraine, Help Ukraine, because Ukraine is fighting for independence. I'm asking here on computer, which insects are interesting for you? Which groups of insects have been interesting for you. Which insects are you collecting? So you can write it in comments under this video. And I'm very pleased to tell you a story about insects of Australia, despite the question that I have not been in Australia yet. But now you don't need to be in Australia. Many people in tropical areas and different places in Africa, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Indonesia, in South America are making very interesting videos, but we are not specialists. We're taking videos and saying, what's strange, what's very unusual invertebrate, what's strange beetle, very funny butterfly. We're just showing facts. But if you are interested to know more about biology, know about name, group, is this insect dangerous, is this insect a pest, or what is the name of this insect, you can ask me under this video or other videos in comments. If you can find some insects in your house and you have problem because if you do worry about your insects in your house, you can say, what is this? Some people are afraid of insects. So you can write on my email. On telephone it's not visible, on computer is visible. You can find my email in description of under this video, and you can write it privately. You can send me some photos, and if possible, if these photos are recognizable, I can identify what insects coming to your house, to your pet store, to your kitchen, and so you can make you some kind of advice. Because some insects can be dangerous, some insects can be not dangerous. You don't need to worry about them, because sometimes they are coming just through the window from your balcony. They can inhabit, they can survive a certain period of time in your house, but they are not dangerous too much. But today we had a story about insects in Australia. Thank you for coming. If you have been in Australia, write your comments. What did you see in Australia under this video? If you want to find more videos about insects, about specific region of the world, write it under this video. If you want to find some videos about special groups of insects on my channel, write under this video. All proposals can be considered. I'm reading comments. If these comments are not only positive, if you are just about correct questions, if these questions are not aggressive, if they are not faking, if they are not haters questions. Haters are coming to block, so they are blocked and not visible. So that's why if you are a hater, don't worry, you will be blocked and nobody will not see your comment, because I'm reading all the comments now, answering the questions, and I'm pleased to communicate with audience. Even I'm scientist and you are not scientists, I'm researcher and you are just a school student. If you're a college student, ask your questions, write your comments, ask about your problems about insects or in other invertebrates. If you have some advices, if you want to make kind of a cooperation, you're welcome. If you want to support my channel, visit Patreon page, link under this video, or if you are in Ukraine, you can support me through Buy Me Coffee or just through Monobank, link under this video. It's really pleasant to see, to feel, to understand support from audience and to see feedback from the audience, even not immediately during the stream, but after recording, because after recording the video is on my site and it will be showing for wide audience English-speaking audience and other languages audience as well. So learn English, speak English, and love insects. Enjoy insects and make a science about insects. Thank you for watching. Would like to see you soon on my channel. Bye-bye. Write your comments and visit Patreon page. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Bye-bye. Okay, I switch on my telephone. Thank you for coming. Looking forward to see you on my channel. Subscribe, press like, write comments. Visit Patreon page. Visit my Monobanka page. Visit Buy Me a Coffee page. Thank you for curiosity and stand with Ukraine. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Bye. Don't forget it about page of Patreon or page of donation on YouTube. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Finish our stream.